That's the great thing about drag. You are a star. We just have to change your height, your name, the way you smell, the shape of your face, your gender. But you're the star. It's you.
Hello, beautiful human. I'm Zach, that's Stanley. Welcome to the studio for the first time ever. Trixie Mattel.
Oh my God. Well, and the crowd goes mild. Can't believe you guys went all the way to West Elm, bought a piece of furniture, returned it, and then pulled out this little number.
Yeah.
So how much of Brian exists right now? Or is this fully Trixie?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's really cringe when people are like, this is my alter ego on stage. Because I'm always like, girl, it's you with some extra hair. Like, you can relax. But I think, like, you know, I'm sure you guys feel this way when you're yourself on camera. And you kind of play different parts of yourself. You turn up the mixing board a little bit. I think I'm, like, funnier and nicer and quicker and bigger. And the real me is, like, just, like, at home quietly playing PlayStation. You know, like, I'm a lot more dull and a lot nicer out of drag.
But, like, I've watched podcasts of you just being Brian, and, like, there's the energy and the temperatures. There's a lot of similarities, like, obviously.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we do The Bald and the Beautiful with Katya and I, and, like,
so good.
We normally aren't in drag, and it's weirdly, like, now one of our best paying gigs because people listen to it so much. You know, we make so much money and, like, love doing it, and we don't have to dress up. And then when we do dress up, it is almost like a completely different temperature in the room. It's like, it's soup, but it's just gazpacho. You know, it's like cold soup or something. It's just different. And I just always feel like when I go in drag, I'm like, I'm going to have a great time.
Is that, like, the bar is set there no matter what?
Yeah, because I never know. Going into, like, especially, like, a podcast environment, you know, I've seen fire and rain in the podcast environments. You know, sometimes you're just on someone's shitty futon, you know, and then sometimes you're in a nice futon. Yeah, you know, really nice.
We left you snacks.
Yeah, there was a lot of snacks in the dressing room. I am vegan and gluten-free, so I just, you know, use them as a child would use building blocks. I kind of made a tower and left the room.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I was still stimulated.
Okay, got it. But you have a private bathroom in there? Like, this, like, it could be worse. It could be worse.
Oh, and it said all gender. Do you know how much I feel like you guys put that sign up for me?
No. We did.
Because I think all straight men are afraid. Like, I've been on sets where I know we're supposed to be progressive and we're supposed to be like, when someone asks your pronoun, you're supposed to be like, oh, thank you. But I like to play with that. You know, so when I can tell someone's a little afraid, like I did a commercial shoot once where the director came up and was like, hi, my name's, let's say, Scott, and my pronouns are he, him. And then later I was like, okay, so that's him telling me he wants to be considerate, which means there's some vulnerability there. I can play with that, you know? Mm-hmm. So, like, later I looked at him and told him he misgendered me, and he looked at me like his whole career was over. I was like, I'm just kidding. I was like, you know, but I had to just, like, started crying. I actually drove off the lot for a few hours just to, like, really drive it home.
Was your goal from the very beginning of this to find actual fame in the way that you have? Because when I say, like, you're one of the most well-known drag queens off of RuPaul's entire fucking universe.
Yeah.
But in Wisconsin, there's no way that, like, this was even, like, this wasn't, you didn't see this many places.
Well, you got to imagine, I'm pretty old for drag queens now. I'm 34, and most drag queens are like 21, blackout drunk and covered in baby oil, right? Like, they're just in the back of a police car, you know, barely out of their mom's house. But I'm like an adult in drag now. And when I started doing drag 16 years ago, you know, when a peanut farmer was in the White House, there was no famous drag queens. There was no, even when I started doing Drag Race hadn't even started. And even at that time, RuPaul, I mean, I don't think people realize RuPaul's massively decorated, Emmy-winning superstar, right? But you have to imagine 15, 16 years ago, RuPaul's was on sort of a break. And so before Drag Race, RuPaul in a lot of ways was like, you know, career wasn't what it was now. Now she's like a superstar. And so when I started doing drag, even RuPaul, who was like, you know, that's our Beyonce, that's our Madonna. It's our Madonna, really. Yeah. Madonna created the pop music experience, basically. RuPaul created the drag experience, basically. Truth. And when I was 18, you know, doing drag in college, there was no drag queens doing even what RuPaul was doing now. So, like, you're asking, did I ever think this would happen? Yeah. There wasn't even a rubric for it. I guess for me, the closest thing would have been like Elvira or like Pee-wee.
Yeah, I get that.
that you create a costumed character and then run around doing it.
And a universe around it. Totally.
Yeah, I would say that's the closest thing to what I thought could be possible. But I had this toxic trait, which is I always believe in myself. And I feel like now you're not supposed to be like that. But I always want good things to happen and I want to do whatever it takes to make them happen. So I always felt like when I made up Trixie, I thought it was the coolest, funniest, prettiest, most marketable thing in the world. And I like always believed that.
You knew from the very beginning. I mean, it was supposed to be Cupcake at one point.
What?
You toyed with the name Cupcake for a second. But
Oh, yeah. When I first started, I was like, oh, I'm either going to do this. I was always doing pink and blonde hair. And I was like, I'm either going to do like this kind of gimmick where I'm always wearing like something that looks like desserts or something. And I was going to be Cupcake. Because I also think food names is funny. It's like strippers. Cookie, candy, cupcake, you know.
Things
but at a
you
certain
eat.
point, they run out of food names. It's like, this is Lay's potato chips. this is veganese. But I wish, I at the time thought like, well, I love toys, and this name is a major toy manufacturer. And, you know, I loved like My Little Pony and Cabbage Patch Kids and Barbie. And, you know, I was a child of the 90s, so everything was like a Happy Meal toy, you know. And so I just ran with that, and I always felt like it was a great idea.
But you did pull from, your first name is pulled from trauma.
Trauma, yes. If you can't monetize your trauma, who can?
Amen.
I was, you know, had a very rocky relationship with my stepdad. He died of alcoholism, so I win. But we didn't have a great relationship. And he used to call me a Trixie, which is like an old school slur for like you're acting feminine, like faggot, crying. You know, whenever I'm crying, he'd be like, oh, little Trixie crying. And so I really hated that name. And then I was doing the Rocky Horror Picture Show on the east side of Milwaukee.
Changes your life.
And there's a character in it named Trixie that I ended up doing. So it was like the universe being like, the universe reintroducing that name and kind of slapping it on me against my will. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll run with it. And I only have a last name because at the time I was using Facebook, and to make a profile, you needed a last name. Wow. So I was up late, like, well, who's the manufacturer of Barbie? And I was like, oh, Mattel. And that's how I thought of it. And then I thought, Trixie Mattel, it has such a nice ring to it. It's like, you know, Clorox 2 or something.
This is genuinely what you were meant to do in this lifetime. Right?
I think so.
You can't doubt that. Or have you ever doubted it?
No. I mean, I love a lot of things. Like I loved working as a makeup artist when I used to work as a makeup artist. I loved cutting hair. I even loved waiting tables. Like I love working.
But it's kind of all of a collection of what you do now, right? Like just to wait tables, for instance, takes so much personality, so much charisma, so much like one-on-one energy, which, by the way, like that's exactly what you're doing to a certain degree when you're up there performing to a bar full of people. And makeup is very much in the DNA of what you do as well. And
yeah.
The
theaters I work in do have bars. They do.
There's like something there. I don't know. Like it's very much meant to do what you're doing. It's beautiful.
Good. Thanks. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, when I say I loved serving, I didn't say I was good at it. I liked it. You know, I liked.
Do you like the people?
Yes. I like talking to people. I love talking. Ask anybody I've ever dated whether or not I like talking. I'm 2 a.m. like, why are you going to sleep? I'm up. But I have stuff to talk about. Wake up. I love doing Trixie. And, you know, there's this woman, Lori Minetti. She used to read the Powerball numbers or whatever in Wisconsin. You know, when they used to have a real woman pull balls out of a cage, that's how you pull lottery numbers, a real person.
Yolanda Vega would do it in New York City. Yes.
See? And they're kind of like local celebrities.
100% icons.
You know, and just like, she was so pretty and she had such a big personality. And I was in college and I did a dinner theater show with her. And I was like, how did you do it? And she said, Brian, that's my real name. She was like, I think you're going to be like me. She said, I think you could do acting and stuff, but you got to find a way to be on stage and use your personality and your sense of humor. And that's how you're going to do it. And at the time I was like, okay, well, I'm not a hot bitch like you. But I think she kind of programmed me to be like, oh, my own sense of humor like is an asset.
You are enough.
Into that. I'm enough. That's the great thing about drag. You are a star. We just have to change your height, your name, the way you smell, the shape of your face, your gender. But you're the star.
But
it's you.
But it is true. Like the personality that is Trixie and all of these drag queens is just the most exaggerated version of one's reality or what they wish they could be.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I think people get out of it. Ironically, I play the worst parts of, I think, my personality, which is like Trixie is like self-centered and stupid and money hungry and like nymphomaniac and self-involved. But in a lot of ways, I think the character like accidentally lands as people get something out of it that's actually wholesome. And I never intended that. I was always just trying to entertain drunk people, But people tell me what they get out of it, and I was like, oh wow, I got a hangover out of it, but you went home the next day and got something out of it.
But
that's cool.
How does Trixie evolve? Like, it has to be like a musician, for instance, which I want to talk music, and your grandfather was a country musician. Like, is this it's a living, breathing thing, right? Like, it's a constantly evolving character that is, connected solely to you. And are there other people like plotting who and what Trixie is outside of the visuals?
No, I wish. I need a creative director. I need to stop having to do all this my fucking self. But what I normally do is like, I read on like Lime once, there's this restaurant, I think in Asia, where they've been cooking the same pot of like soup for like years.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Well, they clean the pan, but it's been the same soup cooking for like years. And I always feel like with Trixie, I'll see a movie or hear a song or see a fashion show or a taste of food or something that like imprints on me and I don't even notice. And then later when I'm making something, I'll be like, oh, that's kind of the same vibe of that play I saw, or like that artist, I think like right now, I'm doing kind of my 60s thing, which I always love to do. But when I started doing Solid Pink Disco, my touring dance party, that's when I started doing like Disco Trixie. And, running the motel, I kind of have hospitality Trixie. And so I do always think of myself as like that doll that you can change their profession just by changing the outfit, really.
Wait, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I feel I love selling shit.
Well, but also like you go Trixie's money hungry. There's a part of Brian that's also really entrepreneurial, smart, and
trauma.
Money hungry, yeah.
Trauma. Well, you grow up poor and
Totally.
you become an adult who has a insatiable relationship with work. And Susie Orman, whose podcast I love, Women and Money,
icon,
so good.
Wait, how many like random broadcasters are you going to bring up in this
Well,
conversation?
you're saying who's my creative director?
love it.
I think it's Susie Orman at this point, because she says money's supposed to make you feel secure.
Amen.
So no matter how much you have or how little you have, if it doesn't make you feel secure, you're not doing it right. And I still work on that because I think growing up very poor, I still am always like, oh my God, what if I get MRSA in my right leg and can't work anymore? I don't even know what MRSA is, but I'm always trying to save money and set myself up for like, if I get hurt or something and I can't be Trixie, how am I going to sustain my human life for the rest of my living,
Do drag queens make good money?
I think some do. RuPaul seems to be doing okay.
Yeah.
And RuPaul seems to think I'm doing okay. Did you guys see on Jimmy Kimmel when she called me rich? I was like, okay, RuPaul, like you're a little latchkey kid who is living. Okay, I'm rich. Okay.
Are you not rich?
Wealth is fluid
and relative, right?
Yeah. I would say there's drag queens who make nothing, and there's drag queens who make millions of dollars a year. It's like any profession where like your private boutique makes $1 billion and your private boutique is on the verge of closing.
What do you think? To me, it just sounds like the perfect formula for the right like flow of success for Trixie. Like you are this person and you're driven by these things and you can dress Trixie up and put her in different positions, but that's just different shades of who you are as a person and different things that interest you. And that's been able to organically build a brand.
Yeah, for me, it was like Slumdog Millionaire, where I was like, well, all those years behind a makeup counter working, I'm going to start a makeup company.
Totally.
I have all this training. Why wouldn't I? Or like when I started making records, it was like, oh my God, I played guitar and sang with my grandpa my whole life. Why don't I do that while I'm in drag? That skill I built up, why don't I? So in a lot of ways,
it's so cool.
In drag, you like add your real skills or your real thoughts and values or your real sense of humor. And I always found like, the more I accidentally show the audience my real self, the better it got. The act and like the performance.
Yeah, the closer you and this character became.
Yeah. And I love doing hair and makeup and I love outfits and I love the drag part of it. And I love comedy and I love DJing and I love playing my guitar. And I'm just very lucky to have this thing to just latch all that shit onto.
Hello, beautiful human. Every year, millions of gamers experience IGSS, inadequate gaming setup syndrome. Luckily, a cure has been found. You have to go beyond with the Vibrasonic mattress by Beyond Sleep. This thing has 6 built-in subwoofers, USB ports for charging, LED lights so you never stub your toe. It gives you an acoustic massage when you want it, plus adjustable degrees of comfort. This right here is the best way to game ever. Cure your IGSS today at BeyondSleepTech.com. Have you figured out exactly what your strengths and Trixie's strengths are? Like comedy. Like you did a comedy tour. Will you do that again?
Yeah, I toured stand-up up until COVID. And then when everybody was doing like stand-up in parking lots, I was like, no, thank you. And then everyone was doing Zoom comedy. And I love stand-up, but that was when I was like, I'm gonna take a break.
Yeah, I think you play better in person.
Yeah. But then I do like, most of what Katya and I do is comedy, but it's like freeform improv YouTube comedy. So I guess I still do comedy for a living. I just don't really do the stand-up circuit anymore. Now I mostly DJ as like my solo bread and butter like shows.
Sick.
But people love it. People love a drag queen DJ. They love it.
Are you gonna tour music? The music you make?
I've toured a few times with like my band and stuff. I toured up until 2021, and then I went on hiatus, and like my guitar playing, singing is kind of on break, and I started DJing, and then I got really into DJing, and then I just want like really right now I'm just really into that.
How are you fulfilled by it, like creatively?
Okay, so I played guitar and sang my whole life, right? So I love music, right? And I went to music school, so all that theory shit makes sense to me. And then because I've always been tech savvy, I always do my own YouTube channel and shit. When I started DJing, it was like being tech savvy and being musical. It came very quickly, and it made a lot of sense to me. I mean, all those years I worked in nightclubs, somebody was DJing, somebody was providing all the music. And then when COVID happened and there was no clubs, I was like, oh my God, I kind of miss dance music. So then I started going into dance music. And then I was at an event where I saw this DJ, Daisy Odell, who's from Los Angeles, and she was in a boa and a sequin mini dress behind the DJ decks. And it was like a burning bush where I was like, she's not a drag queen, but I was like, I put my thumb over the brown hair and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. And then I like went out, bought the club standard equipment, and set it up in my living room. What you guys got to know about me is when I want to learn to do something,
just do it.
I'm gonna do it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna hyper fixate on it and learn everything about it. Because I like I said, I just believe in myself. So I'm just like, I'm gonna do that.
Where is that built from, you think?
Trauma,
Totally.
and probably delusion.
But like, it's weird. Don't let go of that delusion.
No, I feel like now, I don't like to rag on the kids, but I feel like the vibe is like, I don't encourage leaning into negative thoughts. You can't do this. Anxieties. I don't encourage that. I encourage going somewhere else with it. I always just feel like I want this. And especially as a drag queen, we're already so self-sufficient. We have to do our own hair. We have to make our own costumes. We have to mix our own mixes, book our own gigs. From the beginning as a drag queen, you have to learn to do everything yourself. So when you want to do it, you're used to having no help. So you got to just go fucking do it.
And do you operate the same now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, now I think I'm a little more interested in work-life balance. I certainly haven't mastered that yet. But, this is like my 6th day in drag this week, which is a little heavy for me. But
thank you for doing this.
It's incredible what I do for you guys. And then I'm going to go on a 3-month break. July, August, September. I'm taking my first ever break.
Where will you go? What do you do?
I'm going to go to Alaska. I want to see what's going on over there.
Oh, like no cameras, no nothing, just go?
Just go.
Oh, sick.
I've never worked there, and I probably never will, and I want to see what the vibe is.
So how long will you go for?
I think about a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's enough time, I think.
Yeah. I think I'm going to get the vibe in about 2 hours. Yeah. And then I'm from Wisconsin. I'm going to spend a lot more time at home.
Cool.
I have a house in Wisconsin, and I have a gay bar there, so I'm going to spend some time at the bar.
What is it? This is it?
This is it, the oldest gay bar in Wisconsin.
How does that opportunity even come to you?
Well, again, you make shit happen. So when I turned 21, that's the first gay bar I went to. And the bartender, George, I walked in and he was like, I've never seen you in here before. And he was so nice. And he was like, can I make you a drink? And I was like, yeah, I don't really drink. Can you make something for a 21-year-old who doesn't really know how to drink? And he made me a Tootsie Roll, which was like a little drink that kind of tastes like chocolate. Weird, right? And then we stayed friends. And then right during COVID, I called him and was like, I don't know y'all's financial situation, but I really want more roots in Milwaukee. Would you want to be partners with me? And so I just kind of asked them, can I? And it was during COVID,
amazing.
so all the news articles were like, Trixie saves local bar. if you know anything about me, is I would never buy into a dying business. It's a gay bar that sells liquor in Wisconsin. That's a money printing machine. People in Wisconsin drink, okay? So I think if you're going to go into business in Wisconsin, you should probably sell liquor.
But what a beautiful full circle moment.
Yeah, now my business partner is the guy who gave me my first drink. I mean, I really drank the Kool-Aid.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's great. It's a wonderful bar. It's been open since the 60s. It's one of the oldest consecutively open bars. I mean, we're even open on Christmas.
Oh.
Because gay people sometimes don't have families to go to. So we're fucking open on Christmas.
So, okay. Other financial dealings. I'm interested in how these houses work. I'm watching your show.
Okay.
I watched the motel. I've also seen the motel from the outside.
You did? Wow.
Yeah, it's stunning. I love Palm Springs.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Palm Springs is awesome.
One of my favorite places on earth.
The world is so crazy and Palm Springs like stands unscathed.
It's so true.
It's like a movie set. It's amazing.
The entire place. You really feel like you're transported into another dimension.
Yeah.
So, okay, we have a bar in Wisconsin. We have a house that we're renovating in this new season. We have a motel in Palm Springs.
Yes.
These are nice pieces of, real estate.
Yes.
How does it work with this TV show? Do you buy the property and then do it with the production company, or are you is it both of you together? Are we making smart investments saying, I'm going to buy this and essentially the TV show is going to pay for it?
Well, you know what's funny? Everybody thinks that like HGTV or whatever just buys you a property.
No.
Let me fucking tell you, people. That's not what's happening. When I'm on camera in season 2 stressing out about the money we're spending, it's because I had to put on nasty little outfits like this and roll around for drunk men to get it. So that's why, forgive me, when we're fighting about tile, I'm like, well, guess who's going to have to shimmy for that fucking tile? You know, like...
Do you still see it as that?
Yeah, I mean, I have always described myself as a clown stripper, and I think that's kind of accurate. I mean, I get out of the little car, because me and drag, I make every car look little, okay? You're like, oh, is that a toy car she pulled up in? Oh, that's a Lincoln Navigator. And I buy that for season 1. My partner and I, David, bought the motel. And then David's a TV producer, so he was the one who was like, well, we should pitch it as a show. It sounds like a cool show.
So good.
And my dream has always been to have like a, Kathy Griffin, My Life on the D List, The Simple Life, a show where I just get to get followed and act like a fool. And so we bought the motel and then sold the series. And then for season 2, we were about to go house hunting. And 15 months after airing, it got renewed. So then they were like, do you guys open in a motel? What are you doing? And we were like, well, we're about to buy a house, so should we renovate? Like, we're going to renovate a house, so why don't we do that this season? So I thought it'd be less stressful, but let me tell you, cameras in your house, in your personal life, cameras on me and my partner, talking about our relationship more in depth, it's definitely more this season.
Because you're designing something that I'm assuming is with the intention of being your dream home, right?
Yeah, I mean...
And forever?
Yeah, I don't want to move again. I mean, my condo, which you see in season 1, was a lovely condo, but it wasn't big enough for me, all my drag, and David. So when we wanted to move in together, it was like, we're going to have to get a house. And I was on tour. When we finished filming season 1 of Trixie Motel, I toured until we started season 2. I toured for like a year and a half. But that's how I got the money for the house.
Yeah.
So, you
Mazel tov. That's fucking incredible.
Thank you. You got to put on the nasty little outfits and go out there and sell the shit with your face on it, if you want to keep your man. So... it's not easy being both the trophy wife and the breadwinner, but somehow
you do it.
Yeah, I'm the trophy bread. I'm the trophy bread.
What is your relationship with a show today? Because I don't think people understand either. Like, you've probably reformed thousands upon thousands upon maybe even tens of thousands of times over the years. Like, do you think about it? Do you put time and effort into your set? Do you just flow? I mean, obviously you put time and effort, but like, how much of it is improv? How much of it is keeping it to the script, and like, are nerves at play?
Well, I think visually it's always a little more planned, right? I'll be like, for first season, I think my costumer, Amy, she's so basically just for me for like 5 years. She has no time and nothing to do in her life except sew for me, unfortunately. So we've been trying to get better at giving her breaks, because otherwise she's just stuck sewing for a 6 foot tall woman all the time. But sorry, 5 foot tall. But we'll talk through the season of like, here's the vibe. I want to do a swimsuit for this episode. And then this episode, we're revealing this room. If it's the flamingo theme room, let's do something pink. We kind of plan ahead. But comedically speaking, we really just riff. I mean, my partner didn't even want to be on TV. He's not a performer. He doesn't want to be famous. But you know, when we're sitting here renovating the motel and he really is the other owner, it became impossible to not include him in decision-making,
Yeah, of course.
stress. So it's pretty funny that this city's like full of people who would die to be on TV. And David Silver is like, oh God, do we have to film today? Oh God, he like hates it.
How's your approach with doing like on tour? Like when you're performing and rolling around for drunk guys, is it the same approach of like, just like, you know, the songs you're going to lip sync to, you can kind of flow with the crowd work? I mean, how much do you get nervous before that?
My mindset is I trust myself to go out there memorized, and I trust myself to go out there with nothing.
Sick.
So whatever happens in the middle is going to be fine. Because realistically, you have to be up there and be present. So you have to stray. You can't stay on your skeleton of like bullet points mentally. But if you go out there with nothing, it is going to be you're going to have a magic day where you're so in the moment that you go out with nothing, and it's great anyway. Kind of like the one I'm having right now. So I always plan, like for DJ sets, when I have Solid Pink Disco, which is my touring disco party, people come head to toe in pink. The whole venue's decorated pink. You walk in, the scent of waffle cone hits you in the face. Like, it's a crazy party. I have my set pretty much pre-rehearsed and pre-planned, about 90% the same every night. Because I would rather go out there and drag and just be able to DJ and know what's coming and just do it. Versus like for live podcasts with Katya, we're always touring, Bald and the Beautiful live. We don't go out there with anything. We purposely go out there and we have like mental things I might want to talk about. Kate Middleton's missing. Or like, this happened to me at the airport. We really try to go out and be organic. Because I think being able to make it up and be entertaining and funny on the fly, sometimes it is the talent. So do that.
And that comes from years of just working at performing in bars and like doing drag shows.
And just talking to myself, like being a middle child that no one's listening to. Like, I just had to I was young and gay in the country, and I'm very much a middle child, and you just have to like entertain yourself. And in drag, it made me so much, Trixie, it's just so much bigger and more confident. You swing bigger. Everything that comes to your mind seems like a brilliant idea, and you have to tell the room, I honestly, when I'm not dressed up like this, it's difficult for me to maybe ramble on in this way, I think.
Interesting. I get that, because there's like a sense of confidence. There's a sense of you can say anything or do anything. And like, I don't know, it's not like there's no ramifications or ripple effect, but it's different. Like,
well, who are you going to get mad at? Like, I don't have a social security number in drag. Like, who are you suing?
So true.
I don't like what the crossdresser said. Okay. Half this country would probably have me killed for walking down the street like this. So who cares? I mean, I got to tell you this. I certainly didn't start doing drag because I wanted everyone to like me. I mean, even 15, 16 years ago in drag, when I started, even the gay guys didn't really like the drag queens. We were like pariahs within a closed, weird community. It's like the gay community is this small compared to the population.
Totally.
The drag queens are the freaks with no eyebrows in the corner who no one will talk to and certainly will not fuck. So we were freaks, and only in the last few years did, like, now if you're a drag queen, you could tell people and it's cool.
It's true.
It was not cool for a long time.
And by the way, like, it's still a thing. Like, a lot of people deal with internalized homophobia, and they choose to take that out in very weird ways, And like a lot of parts of that is like,
do they do that to you?
No, take it on me.
Yeah.
Not usually. I think mainly because I'm just, being honest, like I'm more straight passing than I am like flamboyant or openly like aesthetically like queer,
According to who?
I don't know. That's all people tell me. That's genuinely it.
Let's comment below. Okay, let's get a discourse going. I'm just kidding.
No, it's true. I mean,
well, that's a great thing. While I'm here, you'll always seem straight. Well, you bring the drag queen in, suddenly you are a UFC fighter. I make everyone, and I also make women look like they just, no matter how much makeup you have on, you look like a soft, beautiful, like Clearasil commercial. You look like you just stepped out of the shower.
But it's something I've like noticed, at least with like the next generation or the like Gen Z, like older Gen Z of like queer men. Internalized homophobia is a very weird thing that people go through and they figure out, like at least within that generation, and they retaliate and they take it out in very weird ways, and
totally.
It's weird.
I was just talking to a friend about this, a writer on a show I'm working on, and I was telling them about drag. To talk about drag and what it really is like, I have to really mentally go to what it was like before I like hit as Trixie, because that's real drag queens working in bars for $40 while stepping over bridesmaids' puke and taking the public transit home. That's drag, right? What I do now is like so actually removed from real drag, like real drag. And I was saying like it's weird because drag really forces you to do away with all your internalized homophobia, because when you're the drag queen, suddenly all the faggiest parts of you are superpowers and everyone loves it. But on the other hand, you are double downing and sentencing yourself to being a freak for the rest of your life. I mean, drag queens are weird. We are weird. That's why we're friends with each other, because we are freaks and we always will be. And like on a first date, this is what I have to tell people about, you know?
Yeah, but there's beauty and freedom and love and acceptance and all these incredible things that come along with this. And like
In Los Angeles?
I don't know, in life, dude, I love drag as art. I am a massive fan. I mean, like, can tell you been to Missy B's in Kansas City and been out in Nashville a bunch, been out in New York City, been out in LA a bunch, random, big and small, Dallas, Houston. I love drag. I really do.
The community thanks you.
It's a beautiful art form. It is so beautiful, and it brings out the best in most people.
It's cool. I mean, I feel like it has like a Miss America identity right now.
Yeah.
Because it is beautiful and it is good for the human spirit. It is. I know for me, what attracted me to it was, you know, being loud, being foul-mouthed, you know, cash in hand, being disgusting. And actually, honestly, I get like a charge out of doing something that in many cultures is like punishable by death. It's doing drag is poking the bear of like the gender experience. It is poking the bear of the American like family unit. Male, female, son, daughter. Like we walk in like this and we call the entire system into question.
Totally.
Because it is all kind of made up. I mean, being a man here, when we think of what it's like to be a man or woman, we think of the Americanized version. There's many cultures where men wear dresses. Many cultures where women have short hair. All that shit is made up. And I'm not like even people who maybe are too, let's say like, okay, boomer to grasp something like gender binary. It's like, well, the reason drag makes you uncomfortable is because it really adds static to something that previously you thought was very crystal clear, you know? And I like that. I like when I'm in drag and someone looks at me like they want to throw up. I know we're supposed to not want that, but like, I don't want to read at the library to kids. Because again, I'm a clown stripper. I like doing something that is like adult and in your face and nasty. I like that drag is a little gross.
But do you think drag has the ability to take different forms based on the performer portraying it or bringing it to life?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, like, it's sort of like you could be a comic and be really, really, really blue, you know? Or you could have one of those acts that's squeaky clean, you know? Like, it really, and it depends how you define it. Like, I love Elvira. Her titties are out constantly. But she never says, like, I'm going to suck your dick. It's always innuendo. It's always inferred. It's like Bugs Bunny. And I think with drag, it's always like, I personally like presenting something for adults. I want to talk about adult shit. But if some other man in a wig wants to, I don't know, read to children, I'm real happy for you. I'm not going to be a part of that. Because I don't like kids anyway. You know? You know why I started doing drag? Not to fucking fraternize with children, okay? Back when I started doing drag, everyone was 21 and up. Like the 21-year-olds were the babies.
Yeah.
And now people are sitting cross-legged at the Boston Public Library, you know, giving Cat in the Hat to the children. I can barely read. I'm not doing that.
But is there a place in society for it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, of course. To say that drag isn't for kids is to say like all music isn't for kids. All comedy is not for kids.
Truth.
I am so disgusting, but there's so many drag queens who are like borderline nuns. Yeah. They're so wholesome. They got into drag it's about love and acceptance and connecting. That's not me. But for many it is. And I think, of course, they should be allowed to do that. You know?
100%.
The same reason I should be allowed to put on something disgusting and perform and yell the F word to a bunch of drunk adults. You know what I mean?
Would you like to sit down with someone like Ron DeSantis and have a conversation?
You know, I'm going to leave that for the professionals because I know we're supposed to keep it like, keep the aisle open and try to connect. And like, I watch like We're Here where the drag queens go to small towns and like talk. I wouldn't last 5 seconds with these people. I would have a meltdown. Somebody would get hit. Like, I just can't take it. I don't understand why when somebody's ignorant, it's up to me.
To have the patience?
It's up to me to put on the backpack with all the bricks in it that are labeled like your shame, your homophobia, your whatever. And it's my job to process it and be patient with you. Why is it on me? You're the one with the problem with me. Your problems are not my problems. That's how I feel. You don't have to come to the drag show. You don't have to watch Drag Race. The fact is, we're not beating down your doors trying to convert your children. Drag queens are not that organized. These are uneducated whores. You would think the conservative news, you would think that these whores, after a drag show, are going down to a secret bunker and laying out a map of the world and planning what they're going to do. These bitches can barely return an email. Drag queens are not taking over the world. I mean, we're taking over, Katya and I had a major tour last year. We sold out Radio City.
Huge.
So if you think we're taking over the world, in some ways we are. But like, dude, we're not trying to force you to be gay. And we're certainly not trying to force you to do drag. But drag queens hate new drag queens. We do. When I was a new drag queen, I was like, why are they all such cunts to me? Now I get it. Because when someone walks in thinking they are Queen Boop and they look like an oatmeal fucking cookie, it's just melting creamy texture. You're like, okay, boo. It's just not, it's not for me.
Do you remember the moment you got really great at makeup and realized it?
I'm still waiting. I still have bad days. I do all my own makeup. So I still, like today I had to put on this body makeup and then put on a white outfit. So for me to try to get my body makeup body into this white tube, Brandon, my assistant, was like stretching it like a rubber band over my arm. I still have hard days. Or like when I watch, if I do like a season of the show, like I just watched all the episodes of Trixie Motel for Picture Lock. I had to watch all the episodes. And I would catch like, oh, my eye is creasing, or like, oh, there's a flyaway, or like my lace is lifting. I still catch things on myself all the time. It's almost like you're not supposed to get in drag and be on set for 12 hours. I mean, that's the other problem. The older I get, the more I'm like, I used to do drag for 90 minutes tops a few times a week. And now shoot days can be 10, 12 hours of sitting in drag. Thank God my beard doesn't grow very fast. Because like, by the end of the day, you'd have fucking Captain Jack Sparrow sitting there. You know what I mean? Like,
I've been staring at your eyes the whole time. I'm just mesmerized by them. Like, I can't tell if you're looking at me or not. It's kind of fun.
No one knows. I know. Sometimes at photo shoots, they're like, we can't see your eyes. I'm like, never let them know your next move. They have no business knowing where my eyes are looking. It's like when you're at the airport and you want to people watch, you put on sunglasses.
Yeah.
That's how I feel with this makeup
all the time.
But if you guys have seen me out of drag, I look very different. And my eyes are really small, and I'm just I look like a blank canvas for drag. Everything is just a skin-colored egg, And when I made this eye makeup up, I don't know what I was on, but I basically was just like, I'm gonna completely rebuild the structure of my eyes. It's not gonna use my real eyes. I'm not gonna use my real face. I mean, the Trixie makeup on other people, they look like they look exactly like me, because you don't have to look anything like me.
So you designed this essentially like you looked at your face as a blank canvas.
Yes. At the time I was really into like My Little Pony and like 60s Barbie and like Sharon Tate. There was like stuff I was into, and I think I was playing with it. Like, I always liked doing the white because I felt like it really opened my tiny eyes. And then over the years, the white got bigger. And then the black liner got bigger. The brows moved up higher. The cheeks got deeper. It just kept pushing it and being like, well, what if I do more? What if I do more? Because, before I was doing TV and stuff, I had done years and years and years of drag in nightclubs. So you can get away with a lot when everyone's drunk. You can look pretty bad at a drag show. You can. It's dark.
It's bad luck.
Everyone's drunk. Like, some of them are are all the way at the back of the bar. Like, but I really lucked out with this makeup because it does seem to burn into people's minds, whether they like me or not. They remember seeing me.
Yeah, it's really perfect.
Well, thank you.
It's a brand in and of itself.
I really lucked out. I didn't, when I was 18, 19, I wasn't like a business mastermind being like, I'm going to design an icon. I'm going to design a look that everyone will, I just lucked out.
No, but it was essentially started with you. I mean this was peace and love, like trying to redesign your own face, right?
Oh, yeah. Because I looked in the mirror and I was like, I don't look like a woman. I'm 6 feet tall. I have a heavy brow bone, a big nose, tiny eyes. I don't have a face that's going to convert to drag very well. You would look pretty good in drag.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you would. Because you have a nice big lid space and kind of like a narrow nose.
Got it.
And these broad, round cheekbones.
Interesting.
You would look pretty good in drag.
Okay, thank you.
But for me, I was like, well, I'm just gonna have to come up with a look that's like a complete build from scratch.
And with that, you get a brand, right? Like you have, something that is like yours.
Yeah, and I used to be able. Sorry, my hair getting fucked up.
No,
I used to. It is, isn't it?
no, it's not. Is it?
Hey, Brandon, can I have a mirror? Sorry, I think I just fucked up my hair. I just start crying. I actually think it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh. I think he's coming now.
I'll grab it.
Oh, thank you.
Branding.
Sorry. Oh, God. Look at this little broken. Yeah, this is a Trixie compact. It's broken. There we go. I snapped it in half and still use it. I'm Ojibwe. We use the whole animal.
Yeah, you are really interesting. Like you're Native American, right?
Yeah, I'm a quarter. I mean, I wouldn't exactly start nominating me as, the leader of any individual tribe or anything. But, my mom was half, my grandma was full. So I really grew up around, honestly, the women I was obsessed with were my mom and grandma. Like I grew up around Native American women. And so I think for me, when I was building Trixie, I used to have blue contacts. And I kind of built her to be a caricature of like Americanized Caucasian success, like tiny waist, huge boobs, huge blonde hair, super tan, full lips, rich but dumb, right? Like I kind of wanted her to be like, I didn't know at the time, but when I was younger, I think I was making fun of what I thought like a rich white blonde lady was. Again, I was just fucking around. It wasn't like a master plan.
But also like what, I don't know, like that's also like in a sense that's like rich, dumb, white lady. Like that's also like an idealized version of society to a certain degree too.
Right. And it's also making fun of, like I was like, if you look at me in drag and you see woman, that really should make you think like, wow, the way we perceive gender is so fucked because I look insane. But our brains are trained to think like, okay, big boobs, small waist, big hair, big lashes, big lips, woman, But like, there's plenty of men who don't look like men per se, and plenty of women who don't look like women. I'm talking like the New York Times cartoon of a man and a woman,
Totally.
like really reductive. And I think in drag, everybody was always trying to look like a woman. And I, when I was younger, was like, I want to look like a drag queen. So if drag queens are accentuating women shit, like my look, I'm going to accentuate drag queen shit. I want a waist that is death-defying. I want huge heels, huge lashes, huge hair. I wanted to look as synthetic as possible.
You achieved it.
Yeah. Fabricated. Very fabricated.
Is becoming Trixie just second nature at this point? Like what comes to the makeup and getting dressed, or do you still have to like think about it?
It just snaps on. I mean, for me, I don't really feel a huge delineation, but when I watch like me in drag or out of drag, I hear and see two different people. So I think for me, it just snaps on, but I don't really notice. But when I get in drag, I always do my own, and I sit at my little makeup station, and I usually put on a TV show. Like I'll watch The Office a lot, The Comeback, Will and Grace, Tabitha Salon Takeover is what I've been watching while I get in drag.
Classic. And you shouted out Kathy Griffin's Life on the D-List, another
So good.
iconic reality show.
Yeah, that show does not get it does get its flowers. It has multiple Emmys, but
It deserves more.
yeah, in the grand scheme of life, she really
Oh, she's amazing.
moved reality TV forward in a major way.
Reality TV, culture, comedy. Kathy Griffin does not get enough credit. And like,
Yeah.
also, nobody talks about the fact that she was with Steve Wozniak. That is crazy.
I know. I need to marry for money. I need to get on that level.
Dude, she's amazing. And her mom, Maggie, icon. I love her.
Icon, yes. I'm actually kind of friends with her now, and she has a dog named Maggie, which I think is very sweet.
Oh.
Named it after her mom.
That's really special.
Well, I met her because I was in some interview talking about D-List, and because we were making Trixie Motel, we obviously thought of D-List. We also thought of The Comeback. We thought of Simple Life. It's kind of, we portrayed it like, okay, well, Trixie swinging a hammer. That's all I need to know. Like, that's already stupid, right? A drag queen doing renovation. But in a way, it's like, well, drag queens renovate their bodies every single day, right? You got to have the vision. And with D-List, I ended up meeting Kathy because I was somewhere talking about like, it was prolific what they did on that show. They gave her, it's very obvious they gave her no money. And it's very obvious to me they didn't quite believe in her show because in the beginning, she really was just doing whatever she wanted. And it's sort of like that show succeeded despite. It wasn't exactly promoted like a hero show on the network. And that show was just so funny. And she's so whip crack smart. And her career was equal parts A-list sometimes and equal parts like, I can't believe she's doing this. But that's how it really is. You guys know.
Amazing.
That's how being a performer really is.
Totally. It's that you should go back and rewatch it. And while you're over on Peacock, you can obviously watch. It's staying as Trixie Motel, right?
Yeah, it's on Max.
Oh my God, I'm so fucking sorry, Max.
That's really fucked up.
No, that is really fucked up. We'll put link below. It's on Max.
One of my claims to fame is on HBO Max. You can change your avatar to me.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, people are always sending me pictures of like you're my like when you have multiple profiles, you can do Trixie. So everybody should go do that. I don't know.
Oh, that's really cool. While you're over on Max, watch Jinx season 2. That's on there. I am a big Max person. I really fucked that one up. But
Are you talking about the Jinx?
Yeah.
I can't believe
it's crazy.
that person who I don't like to call murderers because I don't want to get murdered. As a rule, I don't like to do I know you're but one am I with like a certified killer. But it seems as if he killed these people, which I find puzzling because if you did, why are you giving interviews about it?
It's crazy. It's nuts.
If I killed someone and you guys wanted to talk to me about it, I would have been sick. You know what I mean? Like he's not exactly for somebody who's kind of a mastermind. I'm like
a moron.
But it just goes to show you. I think they do talk about killers who like want to get caught. I think there is a certain amount of getting close to getting caught.
Oh, that's the rush.
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, a lot of those killers, like they'll go and they'll show up to the search parties. They'll show up to the press conferences. They like want to be near it and in it. And
Well, the woman from Baby Reindeer on Pierce Morgan.
Wild.
It's so cunty. I love it.
Like, dude,
She really is just Kathy Bates in Misery, and she's like, "Here I am, world." You know?
Totally, she's owning it, and she's getting paid money. She's gonna start doing club appearances.
Well, that's what we're also we're in the land of Gypsy Rose Blanchard on The View. Like
Crazy.
We're in a very special place in the world where like it's a little like the Hunger Games. Where like Katniss went and killed people, and then she gets to go on a victory tour. Like like. It's really crazy. Like we say dystopian. Like I'm always like dystopian. What else is there left to become dystopian? We're in it. We're living it.
Are you ready for the election in November?
Am I ready?
Are you recruiting people?
Of course I'm ready. One time I voted in drag because I was on set and I had to vote on that day. I had to vote at an elementary school, and I was on the way to set, so I had the car stop so I could go in and vote.
It's iconic.
Because I was like, I'm going to fucking vote. I can't let working stop me from voting because then I'm part of the problem. You know what I mean? And I go in and everyone was treating it like, yeah, girl, like it's activism. I'm like, I'm just busy. This isn't me trying to be like, yeah. I'm like, I'm just trying to get in and out. Give me the Scantron. Thank you.
The Scantron.
Or whatever, like
no, I haven't
the little
heard that
thing.
in so long. It's giving me high school energy.
I don't think I've taken a real, well, in beauty school we took Scantrons. I think maybe the last time I took a Scantron was like the ACT test in high school.
Oh, yeah. ACTs,
Are you good at standardized
SATs.
testing?
No. What? No.
I kind of slay. I was always one of those people who didn't have to study and I could get to the
God,
test.
you're smart. You really are just naturally and organically intelligent. Like you don't have to try, effortless. It's coming.
I'm going to take that with me.
Yeah, anybody who can fly through those things, you have a really thick baseline of intelligence. So like you can make the most out of everything you got. So when RuPaul's talking about you being rich, like, yeah, no, you're fucking smart.
I guess I just like, I get really focused on shit. When I want something, I really obsess over it and think about it until I get it. I'm really crazy.
That's okay though.
I'm really crazy. And when I want something, I deep dive. Like when I started to fall in love with DJing, I was watching every house music documentary. I was listening to all the dance music I could gather. I was learning my CDJ equipment inside and out, learning every function of every button. I just am such a try-hard little bitch.
But it worked.
Yeah, it always works because I'm insane. So I'm not going to stop until it works. You know?
You also care.
I care. That's the thing. I really care. And as much as I joke about it, I feel so fortunate to do Trixie. I always try to really do the best thing I can do. Look the best, be the funniest, do my best job.
What do you do on days? 'Cause I'm sure your job is like every other job where sometimes you just don't feel like doing it that day.
Oh, today. Are you kidding me? I mean, getting in drag this morning, I wanted to kill both of you.
I'm so sorry.
I wanted to kill both of you.
Yeah.
I had to get up at 8 to do phoners, and I was like, oh my God. So I was doing interviews.
Oh, you have a
and then I had
press
to get, And then I had
day.
to get in drag, and I was like, oh my God. I just feel like every job I've ever had, there's some days where I don't feel like it. So even if you have your dream job like I do, some days you're like, I don't want to shove my dick up my ass today. I don't want to cram my foot into high heels. I don't. And then sometimes these long shoot days, like I was shooting with Katya, we were shooting our Netflix show I like to watch, that show where we sit on the couch and like review Netflix shows. And it was day 2 of shooting that. And we shoot like fucking 12-hour days. And I was like, I want to run out of here screaming. But
it's hard to have fun when you do, because that show is based on fun and like natural like response to a TV show. Like,
yeah, and in drag, once I start to really feel the corset or once the wig starts to hurt,
you're
my
gonna
stamina. And I can tell the producer at Netflix could see it in my eyes. And I was like, she name is Jennifer. I was like, Jennifer, how many more clips do we have to watch? You know, I do get tired in drag.
I get that because it's physically demanding.
It is. And like today I get to do this interview and then I get to get out of drag. So I know I can like be present and then I can snatch this wig off and get in the hot tub later.
I really thank you for doing that for us today.
Of course.
That's really a really special thing and a really great gift.
I got
really
in drag
appreciate
for you
that.
guys for this.
That's really amazing.
We appreciate it.
God, that's fucking incredible.
Isn't that
really?
great? The second most famous drag queen did this for you.
You kind of are, no?
I don't know.
Do people care about the power rankings? Like,
I don't know. One time this one magazine did a power ranking of the most powerful drag queens in America. And I'm just like, based on what? I know these girls. Try to go through TSA with one of them and tell me they're powerful. You know what I mean? Like some of these drag queens are such messes. I'm like, ain't none of us powerful, okay? Ain't none of us powerful. Do you know how little you have to do in drag to be considered hardworking? No. Show up on time and not like slap somebody.
I don't know.
If you show up on time, not drunk, they're like, are you God? I mean, luckily I work in an industry where the bar is consistently being lowered by like that theater kid from your high school. Like, you know, it's creepy crawlies. I mean, the drag queens, it's a motley crew. But it's great because in a community of freaks, we really do all know each other and kind of respect each other because we all are doing something so stupid that's so hard.
It seems like you don't take it seriously at all, but that's also why you're so successful.
Well, you know, Katya really helps me with that because I will get in circles where I'll like stress out. And Katya's like, girl, we're not putting splints in people's hearts. We're not curing diseases. Like, it's drag. It's cross-dressing. Like, if you're losing sleep over cross-dressing, put on a pair of men's slacks and go get a job at FedEx Kinko's. You know what I mean? Like, it's not worth it. This is supposed to be fun for everyone, including me. So lately I've been trying to relax more because I started to get really sick from being so stressed out all the time.
What were you stressing out over?
Everything. Life, the renovating the house, season 2. I mean, it was hard. The season was really hard to renovate. Touring, the makeup company, the YouTube channel. I mean, there's so much to keep up with sometimes.
You're everywhere.
It can be crushing. And then I started to get really bad inflammatory arthritis from just the stress. So for a while, I was like, my knees, my elbow, my jaw was locking up. All my joints were just locking. And the doctors were like, you just are stressing yourself out. You're creating an autoimmune response to nothing because you're stressing yourself out to like a fight or flight mode.
Oh, no.
And that's when I started to be like, what are you doing? It's a wig and panties and white go-go boots for $40. It's not that deep. And that's kind of my new mantra is like, it's just not that deep.
Was this success rooted in like numbers or money or not doing enough?
I don't know. That's the thing. You stress yourself out about like doing the best.
Totally.
But what is that? What does that mean? Make the most money? What does it mean? Have the best show? Does it mean be the prettiest? Like, what does it mean? I guess for me, I always want to feel like I feel the best when I really delivered.
I get that. I have a lot of similarities, right? Like this idea that like I want to give that person the experience that they came in wanting to have, right? Like
that's totally it.
It's like, crippling though.
It is, but once you start worrying about it, you become incapable of giving that experience.
Fuck yeah.
So you almost have to almost have to engage in being disconnected from. You can't before you go on stage be like, what if this doesn't go well? You can't think that way. Because then it's not going to go well. It's like a weird mind game. Mm-hmm. Honestly, lately, the more fun I try to have in drag and the less I care, the more happy I am with what I'm doing.
It's better.
It's very toxic as a performer or an artist or anything to get too stressed out and what if it's not good? Because what the fuck does good mean?
Exactly.
Good to who?
It's relative, and it's
It's
ever changing.
Right. I mean, of course, a fierce paycheck matters. Or like getting to do a gig where you get to work with someone you love is great. Getting to travel to somewhere you always wanted to go is great. But walking off stage feeling like you lived up to the audience's expectations of laughing, and that feels better than everything. You just feel like you're flying. I mean, the moments you have on stage live or on camera, it's the best I'll feel all week. I live for that shit.
Are you addicted to it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're going to find out. I'm taking a 3-month break. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I think I'm going to grow a beard.
Really?
I don't think I can. I'm going to glue one on like Top Model. Remember when that guy had to wear a fake beard? I don't know. I've only ever taken 2 weeks off of drag, and it's because my appendix exploded. So I've never had time off drag, ever.
What if after 3 months you just don't miss it? You're like, oh, this is kind of nice.
I've thought about it. And I would just be done. I love being Trixie, and without being ungrateful, everything I ever imagined in my wildest dreams could have ever happened to me has happened already. My wildest dreams. Because again, when I started doing drag, there was no superstar drag queens. I mean, Ru, there was just Ru. And so all of the things that have gotten to happen are all so cool. And if I ever did want to quit, I really want to be able to give myself permission to do that. Because the truth is, I can quit at any time. This in my mind of like, I could stop now. I could leave here today and be done. And sometimes I'm like, yeah. So why don't I try to enjoy what I'm doing the most I can? Because I could just quit.
I understand that. You've done enough.
Yeah. Or not in that way of like, I could allow myself to get bored of it and be bored of it and be done. If I got sick of drag, I could just be sick of it and be done and go do something else. And that's okay.
Imagine if your last thing ever as Trixie was the zachsang show.
Oh, no.
Thank God. My swan song. I would start bringing out all the dirty laundry. I'd start going through all my texts from drag queens being like, and that's what this bitch said to me in February. Or, you know, I would start giving exact amounts of how much I got paid for what. Just crazy shit. Because, I mean, this many years in drag, I know where the bodies are buried with the drag queens. I know everyone's business.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah. But they don't even have my numbers, so.
You should. Trixie
I feel
Motel.
like I've talked a lot.
Yeah, it's the point of coming here.
Oh, God.
Thank you. The Trixie Motel is waiting for you on Max. Link below.
You got a Max deal. You got a Netflix deal.
Yeah.
Amazon, what are you doing?
I told you, I just show up early. I just show up on time and their minds are blown, you know? Yeah, Amazon and Hulu are on my shit list. I want a cooking show. I want, you know what I would love to do? I would love to do a show where, because I love renovating and I love owning my businesses and I love helping businesses thrive.
You want to go in?
I want to do a show where, like where I get to go to struggling gay bars and help them revitalize their
I
business.
love it.
Like, here's your problem with your drink program. Your staff needs to clean up their shit. The layout of the bar doesn't make sense. You don't have the right sound package. A lot of these gay bars are closing left and right. And I think a lot of them just need a little tweak.
Yeah.
And they get that spotlight of like, they get to be on TV and everybody goes to the bar.
You should do that.
Wouldn't that be great?
I love that show.
Because with gay bars, we're obviously talking about small businesses, but we're talking about basically town halls of the gay community.
Oh my God, pillars in the community.
It matters that these spaces stay open, but they have to be financially viable to stay open. So it sucks when gay bars close, but when gay bars close, it's because they weren't making money. And I would love to make sure that the bars that want to stay open can make as much money as they want.
No, it's like Bar Rescue.
Yeah.
Better.
Gay Bar
Bar
911. Imagine me in like a pink ambulance.
Oh, so good.
Pulling up to these bars, being like, let's get fucking busy.
Have you pitched it?
No,
Why?
this is me pitching it. I waited until I come on a huge program.
Do you want to come on? Do you want to sell that to Amazon?
Thank God. Yeah, Amazon. Are they in the
Prime
room?
Video. I mean, they're all.
You're
first
in
of all,
the
they're
Amazon building.
Always in the
Prime
room.
Video. Come on, Prime Video. I know it's all about Fallout right now. Okay, I know. I understand. It's all about Yellow. Is Yellow Jackets a Prime show?
No, that's Showtime.
Sorry. But would you like me to yell at gay people on your screen? I think I could really help people because I've performed at every gay bar on the planet at this point.
Oh yeah, you know them.
Yes, and now when I go to gay bars, I'm like, oh, I like this drink. Oh, that stage should be over there. Oh, that's a weird outfit there. You know, like I do pay attention to what I think. I'm a know-it-all. Even when I worked at the makeup counters, when I was selling makeup, when products came out, I'd be like, I like it. I would have named it this. I don't like the scent, and I think the price is too high. Like I always had my version of how things should play out, you know, business-wise.
You're incredibly smart.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're a really special person.
Thank you. Wow, thank you.
No, you're fucking cool.
Thank you.
I want to watch your Bar Rescue 911.
Wouldn't that be great?
That'd
Would
be
you be
really
a guest?
I would literally give a limb, and we'll make
What's
some
your hometown?
introductions. Wayne, New Jersey, right outside of Manhattan.
Okay, let's go to the gay bar in Wayne, New Jersey.
There's gay bars over there. We'll find them.
You think?
Yeah, they're around. Honestly, I think every community really has a gay bar. Maybe not my town, but that county, that area, yeah. There's.
If they don't have a
Totally.
gay bar, I think like the Apple Store will do.
Yeah.
Anywhere gay people will go. Sephora, Apple Store, J. Crew, like the Gap. Just go there and start, make it barking orders. This drink is not very strong. They're like, this isn't a bar. I'm like, oh.
Trixie Motel, Drag Me Home. It's waiting for you on Max. Link below. Code on the screen. Final thoughts?
Yeah, I know it was about a year ago, but you did Stagecoach, right?
I sure did. I've had 45 careers. Because before I DJ'd, I used to sing folk music and play my guitar.
And where did that go? Like, are we still writing originals?
Yeah, I've done like 3 or 4 records, and right now I wrote a bunch of music last year, but I just love DJing right now. So I wrote a few dozen songs last year, and I just kind of shelved them all. And right now I'm in the process of just giving them to other bands and letting them sing them. I'm not like,
Wait, what? You're selling songs?
yeah, I just have been writing them and sending them to singers I like and be
Who?
like, do you want this?
Who are you saying them to?
Well, I don't
I
wanna
know you're
say.
friends with Brittany Broski.
Oh, she's a great singer.
She's one of she's my favorite artist that nobody's heard.
Yeah, she's a great
Her
singer.
music, her originals are so. I want to
Yeah.
flip a table.
She's bomb.
She's fucking.
Has she been
incredible.
on the show?
Yeah,
Multiple
She's
times.
so funny.
Best guest ever.
She's amazing.
She's on the same level mental illness as me. She and
Yeah.
I are like right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can
yeah,
see that.
yeah.
She and I, when we met, it was like we both started speaking a language. Not only was it the same language, but we'd never spoken until that moment. It was like twin behavior. Because, we're both, tall, bald women. So, and I can say that she's my friend. I feel bad because she always says such nice things about me. And then I go places and because she and I just rip into each other. That's all we do is just shit on each other. And that's how you know you really love someone.
She's the quickest, funniest person I think I've ever come in contact with.
She's so beautiful. She's so funny. That bitch's mind she's so funny. Her laugh makes everyone in the room laugh. She's an awesome hair and makeup artist. I mean, she's really gifted. I honestly think with her, we're in the beginning of someone's like huge. We're still in the beginning of like, I think she could be fucking Oprah.
No, I agree.
Like she's awesome.
I honestly couldn't agree more.
And she's also compassionate. She can make you laugh, but she loves talking about serious shit. And her convictions about also just watching her be obsessed with one male celebrity at a time
So good.
is great.
Her Hosier addiction made me very happy.
When she met like
Harry Styles?
Harry Styles and just cried. Love that shit.
I loved when she was like into masked men for a while.
Oh yeah.
She had a thing for that. I love her.
Yeah,
I
she's
really do love her.
She's really awesome. She's on Trixie Motel season 2.
Really?
Yes, she is. We have great guest stars, Lisa Vanderpump. We have Orville Peck. We have
Orville Peck's another icon.
He is. He and I are very close.
Really talented. Never been on the show, but really gifted.
You should have him on. I mean, he's kind of an honorary drag queen. Like he hides in a costume,
Yeah.
and I'll just say this about Orville: his character on stage is very like, "Well, hello, I'm Orville Peck." Backstage, that faggot can run with the best of the drag queens. He is just such a like. He's so a drag queen. He is such a drag queen behind the scenes, and it's awesome.
I just remember like seeing him show up to places in the hat and mask like years ago before and like not know anything, right? And like I just remember like one year, like years ago at Coachella, just watching him walk around and like just like this. It was marketing, yet like nobody knew yet. Like it was really wild.
He's so big now.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
It's awesome. It's really cool. Him, Brittany. I mean, everybody. All my friends are blowing up.
Real recognizes real, and you genuinely are.
Everyone's huge. But no, it's great. I mean, Orville especially. I remember hearing his first album, Pony, and being like, I love this. And then it seemed like in the blink of an eye, he was like everywhere. It's great.
You are the company you keep, so
Yeah.
you keep good ones.
Thank you.
Are you gonna watch the new season of Trixie Motel? You should. It's on Max. Link below. Final thoughts?
No, I loved every minute of this. This was so fun.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're amazing.
Thanks, kids. If they ask you to take your top off, get the money first.
Trixie Mattel, everybody.